Have we ever had an elite manager start his career in the EFL? Eddie Howe? He's had a great career. I'm not necessarily sure he's elite. Vincent Kompany? Could be. We'll see how things go at Bayern Munich first, though.
No, man.
Also, technically didn't start his career in the EFL. Kieran McKenna? Definitely could be, but we'll see how things get on in the Premier League first of all. But so far, we haven't. So it begs the question, will we ever have an elite manager start his career in the EFL? If you don't know who Danny Rohl is, it's time for you to get to know. The Sheffield Wednesday manager has been getting rave reviews for the job he's been doing at Hillsborough. He's only 35 and has one hell of a pedigree. Could he be a future elite manager? Let's have a look. I'm Ryan Dilks from the second tier, and this is the story of Danny Rohl. Rohl's career in football began as a player in the German lower leagues, including as a defender at his hometown club FSV Zwickau. I apologise to any German-speaking viewers. He suffered a lot with injuries though, and that led to him going into coaching in his early 20s, well before his playing career even got underway. He started working in the youth system at RB Leipzig, who were the biggest club in the part of Germany where he grew up, and he started working his way up until he was promoted to working with the first team under Ralph Hasenhüttl, who you remember as the former manager of Southampton. And Hasenhüttl clearly liked what he saw, because when he moved to the south coast of England in 2018, almost as soon as he joined, he told Southampton, "Get Danny Rohl." And they agreed a deal with RB Leipzig for him to move to Southampton. But Rohl was getting the attention of outsiders as well. Only 9 months after joining Southampton, he was poached by Bayern Munich and was assistant manager to Niko Kovac. Kovac lost his job and was replaced by Hansi Flick, and they would go on to win the Champions League that season, and Flick would go on to coach the German national team and take Danny Rohl with him. They would work together until Flick was sacked in October 2023. So Danny Rohl was on the market. What was next for him? Well, first of all, you need to know about the position that Sheffield Wednesday were in at the time. Sheffield Wednesday started last season under a cloud. And when I say cloud, I'm talking storm, lightning, hurricane, everything bad that you associate with clouds. They won promotion to the Championship in dramatic circumstances, but not long afterwards, their manager Darren Moore was sacked, apparently over disagreements with the owner Dejphon Chansiri regarding transfers. He would be replaced by Isker Munoz, but not before Chansiri ranted for 10 minutes about Carlton Palmer. And Munoz was a disaster. He was sacked after just 10 league games, where Wednesday only won 2 points. It was the club's worst ever start to a season and the joint worst ever start in Championship history. But I'm afraid to say, this was only scratching the surface. Chansiri released a statement where he said he would stop putting money into the club. It's because he was upset at the treatment he was getting from fans. Treatment. He also told supporters they were in charge of the financial side of the club from now on. Now, Chansiri would go on to pay the bills again a month later, but it gives you a good idea of how much of a crackpot this guy is, and the whole thing really left a sour taste in the mouths of many, many fans. So you've got an owner who's mad, and Sheffield Wednesday bottom of the league with just 2 points from 10 games. Haven't even mentioned a squad which was very patchy. Surely they've got no chance of staying up, have they? Danny Rohl was appointed at Sheffield Wednesday in October 2023, and even then you're probably fully aware of how this story ends, but he didn't have a great start at Wednesday. They lost 5 of their first 6 games under Danny Rohl, so he still had a few teething problems to deal with. Now, Isker Munoz did a bad job, there's no doubt about that, but Rohl was finding out that this squad wasn't great. Yes, there were a few players who would come good under him, but over the summer Wednesday had a thin squad and their approach to signing players was a bit all over the place. A lot of the players they brought in had never even played in England before. You've also got to remember confidence was basically on the floor after that dreadful start, so it took some picking up for these players to get any points on the board. But slowly, Danny Rohl started to turn the tides. They would end 2023 having lost just 3 of their last 8 games of the calendar year. There would be a bit of a slump in January, and with 30 games gone, Sheffield Wednesday was second from bottom, 8 points from safety. Despite the upturn in form, they still looked doomed. From that point onwards, though, we saw a minor miracle. From mid-February to early March, Wednesday won 5 games from 6, only losing to eventual champions Leicester. They went from 6 wins in 30 to 5 wins from 6. Despite that, it wasn't enough. Wednesday was still in the bottom 3 with 11 games to go. They suffered setbacks against Ipswich, Leeds and Middlesbrough, and they were once again struggling to keep their heads above the water. But then, with 6 games to go, they won 14 points from an available 18 and secured safety on the last day of the season. Wednesday spent virtually every game week in the relegation zone, apart from the final 3. Do you know how mad that is? Danny Röhl turned Sheffield Wednesday from a side who were losing every week to one which had just 7 losses in 21 in 2024. They won the 7th most points in the whole of the Championship from 2024 onwards, and that includes 30 points from their final 16 games, which was the 2nd most in the division, only behind Ipswich Town. Danny Rohl is basically a witch doctor because Wednesday were dead and buried, yet he managed to bring them back to life and keep them up. It's genuinely one of the most remarkable turnarounds we've ever seen at Championship level. By the way, this was against a background of protest from supporters towards the owner, Chansiri, but the atmosphere at Hillsborough had gone from toxic to positive, and that is all down to the incredible work of Danny Rohl. Nothing else, it's all down to him. Galvanising a club and a group of players would be a difficult thing to do for an experienced head considering how Wednesday started the season, but we've got to keep in mind this was Danny Rohl's first job in management and he was 34 when he was appointed. To do that with the tools that he had is mind-blowing. Unsurprisingly, Wednesday were keen to tie him down to a new contract, and the deal he signed in July to keep him at Hillsborough until 2027 is undoubtedly the biggest bit of business they'll do all season. And as this new Championship season gets underway, there's a lot of excitement around Sheffield Wednesday. Yes, they've signed a fair few players, but it's mostly down to this exciting, young, talented manager. If he could do what he did last season with a threadbare squad, imagine what he could do this season with a revamped side. So could Danny Rohl become an elite manager? I see no reason why not. He's 35 years old and what he's achieved so far in less than a year in management is phenomenal. He's clearly got the pedigree, having worked with Bayern Munich and the German national team. He's worked with big players and he's learnt from some very talented coaches along the way. He's been getting some big praise from players as well. Barry Bannon said he's destined for the top and is probably the best manager I have had in my career. He's shown me things on the tactics board, in meetings and in games that I've never seen any manager do. One thing's for sure, if Wednesday have another incredible season, Danny Rohl will not be short of admirers. Yes, that's bad news for Wednesday, but I think they may just have to accept that this guy, the sky's the limit for him and his career. So what do you think? Is Danny Rohl on his way to becoming an elite manager? Let me know in the comments section below. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it and subscribe for more content like this. I've been Ryan Dilks from the Second Tier and we'll see you again very soon.